Hey guys, this is Dylan from Trading Elevated, and today we're going to be going over our trade recap from today. As you can see here on our market profile, we've identified that it's a balanced day. Around 8 a.m. is when we identified that today would be a balanced day, just because of the tight range. And on market profile, you can see we have a 4 wide point of control with a 4 wide value area that immediately drops off to 2 wide. The blue space is not the value area. So basically the strategy on a balanced day that we will implement is fading the extremes, which means when price moves emotionally higher or emotionally lower, we're going to take the opposite side and fade it back into value. In this case, our plan that was set up and that was sent to our members in our premium chat was to short at, originally we were looking to short in the 20s, but we did see how tight of a range we were in on today's balance day, so we moved that to 18s. We currently have a resting order out for 17.75, I believe, was the right order. Yeah, 17.75. And we did this because we knew we had to be a little more aggressive due to multiple things. The first thing was you can identify the huge stacked asks right here on the right. That means that there are a lot of sellers active in this market when we get to the high teens. This tells us that, along with the tight range that we're in today, and it's not a super volatile balance day, tells us we need to be a little more aggressive on our entry. So we were looking for 17.75. And at this point, we don't want to move it any closer because we're already very close to value. Value dropped off right above 17. And so we don't want to get too close to that because then we're going to be taking the trade in chop, which means we're going to be a little more antsy and more prone to being stopped out. So at this point, we're just sitting on a resting order, and in this case, it's a starter just to, there it is. You see how it taps 7.5, and it's going to move a little higher and fill us, I believe. The key on days like today is being very, very patient and getting good trade location. It may take a while to get filled or reach your profit targets, but on days like today, you're just going to be cutting into your own profit if you're being too aggressive on your entry and taking trades in value, or if you're cutting your position too early and just taking profits too soon just because you've been in the trade for a long time. That was one thing about today we realized. Normally, shorts will happen a little bit quicker because short setups just develop faster than longs. But today we noticed it was much, much slower day in terms of price movement, but that's not going to change our bias or change the way we're going to trade this. So at this point, we're filled at 7.5, and now we're just waiting for the move back down. Our initial profit target is point of control, which for today is 15. At this point, it was 15.5. A lot of people would be inclined to take it off right when it touches value, so 17. You'd be taking it off for 3/4 of a point at that point. And it is something, but it cuts it more than in half from our initial profit target. On balance days, you have very high odds that once you go out of value and you fade the extreme, you have very, very high odds that you're coming back to point of control. So what we like to do is we set up profit targets. PT1 for your profit target, your first profit target for aggressive traders could be point of control, and your second profit target could be the bottom of the value area. But let's say you're a more conservative trader and you like to take profits quickly. You could take profits on the first touch into value area, so 17s, you take off half of your position and you take off the other half at point of control. You never want to take a full position at once. And similarly, we like to scale out of our trades. That way we can manage our risk and leave portions on for a bigger risk to reward play. Here we just wanted to check delta and see if there is a possibility of a correction, and there was. Price had moved up while delta had stayed relatively the same peak, as you can see there. We're moving back down a little bit here, and it's giving us a little more confidence in the short as we move back into value area. One of the other things that I really confirmed our trade here is we didn't see a pickup of momentum when we moved out of value. The thing is, when we're out of value, other people are also recognizing that. And unless there is some sort of momentum to the upside, it is a valid short. We saw price stall. We took the short pretty aggressively on the entry after our changed point. And at this point, we're just waiting for a point of control to get hit. We have a resting order at 15.5. It's very hard not to move it up at this point. You're seeing it come right above it to 15.75 and just not touch it. And a lot of traders will just take their 1 point at that. But we're going to wait this out because we understand that when it's back in the value area, it's going to chop around a lot. You have to be patient here. The odds are still in your favor that we retest value area and potentially move lower. But for this position, we're just looking to take it off at point of control. And there we have it. It gets tagged again, and that's when you can realize it'll probably move lower. The longer it holds a point of control, there it is. We got out for +2, and many of our members got +2 as well, which isn't a huge trade, but on balanced days, it's the bread and butter. Fading extremes is not hard, and on more volatile days, the balanced days will give us much better risk to reward plays, which means higher points. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dylan from Trading Elevated, and we're looking forward to seeing you at another trade recap.